Picking up from my previous video and noting that other people's comments were also deleted, and all my music, the playlist ran out. Okay, well, no more music for the rest of the videos. Well, some other guys just want to be fighter pilots and don't even have CVs, and the guys who have their CVs aren't always around. And when they are getting all these distracted dudes to gear themselves, getting all these distracted dudes to gear themselves up takes so long, it's bedtime before we roll out. In my CV, there's an armory box with armor and ammo and guns ready to go, and there's plenty of room to dock HVs and CVs, so why burn all that fuel on another atmospheric escape when we can just drop one ship? I understand this guy's issue, and I'm trying to help him within the confines of what the game is going to do and allow. And we're at the September 1st posting, so I'm going to switch over to... hold on, got to pause it. Alright, and we are in my comment activity. And September 1st at 1:55 p.m., I reposted a deleted post that I had made earlier, which contains the post, so rather than showing you two copies of the same... Anyway, so this message, I preface this by saying this message was deleted for some reason. Reposting it, since me and Piddlefoot both use the same reasoning, that this is an anti-exploit, anti-grief measure. And I got my AMs and my PMs mixed up. But whatever, it'll make sense when I read back to the other thread. But unless I'm mistaken, not being able to dock your vessels to a CV that is not in your faction is an anti-grief measure, as docked vessels are essentially invincible. Think about it. Approach enemy CV, which would be any CV that isn't in your faction, essentially, and if you're able to land and dock to it, you exit your cockpit, and then no one outside of your faction would be able to mess with your hover vessel or your small vessel. And what I mean by that, you can't enter the cockpit if you're not in the right faction. And when a vessel is docked to a base or a capital vessel, that vessel that's docked is invincible. Bullets and gunfire and plasma and missiles, artillery rounds will go through the docked vessel. When a vessel docks, it's essentially invincible. Now, you can damage the blocks that the vessel is docked to, and if you can destroy the vessel of the blocks that it's docked to, then the vessel is no longer docked. When it's no longer docked, then you can destroy the vessel itself. However, you'd be able to board and assault the CV and its occupants or the surrounding base with impunity. And if you brought a clone chamber-equipped hover vessel, you have a respawn point the people you're assaulting can't destroy or remove. And this part where it says, I don't understand why you're copying that, you'll see that. You'll see that in a moment. Like I said, I got my AMs and my PMs mixed up. My brain isn't completely operating at 100% efficiency. I don't know why you're copying such an attitude with me. I'm not attacking you or using any kind of language or tone to warrant or justify that nasty response. But sure, make an account on the official Empyreon website and post on their forums asking Elion to change a game mechanic just to suit you and your friends. I'm sure you'll get an immediate response, and the next patch will allow cross-faction docking. And ignore the people trying to offer you workarounds and compromises. These game devs better stop development on other game systems and change the game just to tailor to you and your friends, right? Now, that's sarcasm. That right there is probably the only part of my post that I can point to and be like, yeah, that was a little bit rude. But when I go back to the topic, you'll see Rainix's response that provoked that response. And I'm like, if you're rude to me, I'm going to be equally rude to you. So if you're passively aggressively sarcastic, then I'm going to be passively aggressively sarcastic. Oh, well, two rights don't make... Yeah, two rights don't make a wrong, but I'm not in school, you know. I'm going to treat people equally. You know, if you're kind to me, I'll be kind right back to you. If you act like an asshole to me, then I'm going to give you an asshole right back. And right or wrong, that's the way that my cookie crumbles. Look, you can take anything me or anyone else says personally, but that isn't going to solve your problem. And other people were basically telling him the same thing, but their posts were also deleted. You can directly address a plea to the devs to change the game, but there's no guarantee that will solve your problem. What will guarantee you success in solving your problem is to better organize yourself and your allies. If your free time is so precious and limited, then use it more wisely and organize yourselves. That's a 100% success rate solution to your problem. Go ahead and use the extra fuel and make 2 CV planet sieges. What else are you hoarding and using fuel for other than to, well, use it? It's like hoarding ammo and never firing your weapons. You have fuel. Use the fuel. Prepare to make more fuel. And then I edited that afterwards. The only thing I'm concerned about is helping you find a solution. Explain your stance with your alliance, and that if they want to fight with the trade guild, they'll have to maintain the loose alliance and put the responsibility of extra prep and fuel production on them. We're going to go back to the posts, and I'll explain my AM and PM difference. Because, see, this is 2:08 AM, and the date of my deleted comment is 1:55 PM. So whoops. Okay, so I'm responding to Ranix. The more you describe your situation, the more it sounds like the issue is less with the game mechanics and more the lack of preparedness and organization of your allies. If any of your allies want to be fighter pilots, I think they're going to have to deal with the price of burning extra fuel to join you on your sorties. It's like asking for a gun that shoots bullets but doesn't use up bullets. There are resources in this game you have to expend to go places and do things. Consider assigning someone in your faction. Well, okay, I already said that. Ranix's response. Yeah, dude, it's totally my guy's fault they have kids, and like, screw them, right? It's not like it's an easily solved problem if they can just launch fighters from an allied CV. And that's Ranix's rude response, because he's being extremely, grossly, disproportionately defensive. And I can understand that because, what game is he playing right now? He's playing Imperion. I can understand that because I've been frustrated and aggravated at the game, and I've been on the forum, and I'm like bitching about my problem, and people come at me, and they're trying to help me, and they're not telling me what I want to hear, so I get defensive. It's like, dude, I understand, right? I've been there before. I've been Ranix. I've been that guy. Ravian response, yes, this should be a feature. No, it's currently not. They will have to join your faction to dock their ship to yours. Yes, it's awkward and a bad design. Piddlefoot. Well, if ownership isn't well defined in the game, we find that people always find exploits and cheats, so that's why it's set the way it is. Now, see, me and Piddlefoot both, this is why I reposted my deleted post, because I'm like, me and Piddlefoot are both trying to describe that, hey, you can't do what you want to do because the game has an anti-grief, anti-exploit function placed into the game that will not allow you to dock non-alliance, non-faction CVs together to prevent people from griefing. I get why you want to all jump in one CV to go raid. It makes sense. But to do that, you're going to need to all be in the same faction. Now, that should not really be an issue because in a faction, you can still lock doors and devices in your bases and CVs, set a code, no other. Even faction members can then only enter if they have that lock code. So you can still have your own stuff in a faction. It just has to be done the other way around, so to speak. Ranix says it's an issue because they want to be friends with pirates and attack the trade guild, and we want to be friends with the trade guild and attack the pirates. Now see, this is the issue. The problem's not with the game. The problem is Ranix wants to be friends with the group that wants to fight with the faction he wants to be friends with. The issue lies between Ranix and this group.